Tom, it's sort of I guess, a philosophical question more than anything else, but it was something somebody asked me this week, and I was just curious. Penn State has that long field goal at the end. I think they even bring in their backup kicker to try it because I assume he had a bigger leg or whatever. The most notable example being Auburn, Alabama, but I know that at times coaches think with that deep kick to put somebody deep in case it comes up short, they can feel it and bring it back out. Is that something you guys ever think about, or is it something where you'd rather be focused kind of on block and protection?
We do, but you lose a guy in both of those situations. So we actually have it. It's called Raven. We do it every Friday. We'll do it tomorrow in our practice. And so, but just based on those, we were trying to do, it was a long field goal for sure. Situation was that he has a big leg. And so they have a long field goal guy and a regular field goal guy. And that was their long field goal personnel in there. He has a big enough leg to kick that. So I really wasn't thinking of the short kick there. I just wanted to make sure he didn't make it. So we wanted to get the proper pressure with our normal, because you lose, like I said, you only get down to 10 when you do that. You don't get your normal, personnel aggression on that you're trying to get to. So, but yeah, we do that. Had to be a little longer where it was like to when we just didn't think he was even going to get it close to getting it there. We would probably put somebody back. And Reese Taylor's actually the guy who put our WAP. We have that's like I said, it's called Raven personnel for us, and we do that.
All right, go ahead, John.
All right, a couple parts to this question. You talked yesterday on the radio show that your time's getting split about 80-20 in terms of preparing for Rutgers and also just doing all these interviews and basically a giant infomercial for IU football. Are you spending, extra hours to get in all the preparation you have to do? Are you delegating to assistants? And also the second part, are you getting recruits on the phone or FaceTime or Zoom right now, like trying to really send home the message there as well in terms of closing some of those 2021 guys and getting ahead on 2022?
Yes, and yes. Basically, I just had to readjust my schedule. That's one advantage of me not calling the defense and being able to take that time. Obviously, you leave the room and go take care of those interviews and things that we're doing to really help promote our program, and which has been awesome. And so, but if I was calling it, that would have been a more challenging situation to deal with. And what I did, though, and the way I handled it is basically I'm in there. We have notes for every single play. And so as we go through and watch film defensively, and that allows me to be able to go through and while I'm there, I'm seeing it live myself, as far as the live is on the film together with the staff. And then they take notes for me, and then I go back and rewatch it myself later on in the evening. And then I did the same thing with the offense. So just everything just got kicked back. So basically I just got less sleep. So I just call it what it is. So, but that's a great problem to have at this point. So I'll sleep when the season's over. But the bottom line is that, yes, it's been a huge opportunity for our program, a great opportunity to get recruits on the phone, parents on the phone, just talking to them. They all watched the game. They all buzzing about how everything finished and just the way we handled the finish and the way we were prepared for the finish and execute everything at a very high level, at a very intense time and under a lot of difficult circumstances. And so, and they just, hey, you can talk all you want about culture. All I got to do is send them the video of the locker room. And that's what I told them. I said, hey, I can sit here and tell you all day about what it's like here, but you can see it for yourself on this video. And you can see LEO lived out in that locker room. And you can see the passion that this program has and the edge that this team plays with and the fight and the grit of this football team by the way that we finished and didn't get, discouraged when it looked like that we were having a small chance for that victory. So bottom line is, yeah, it's a great opportunity for us. We got a great staff. I delegate to these guys and I trust them. I got to, do things a little bit different schedule-wise, but that's part of it. And that was kind of part of the process as we go through and thinking moving forward about, how I would be able to, function as a head coach and not be calling the defense. That just allowed me to be able to, we planned for this, it's taken some time to get here to be able to have the wins that match up with it. But it's just a big win for sure, but it is only one win. And this next week is just as bigger.
All right, Tom, then Jim Coyle.
Tom, I know you guys are always focused on the 1 week at a time thing, but from getting your players zeroed in, how much did it matter last week that Rutgers not only won but looked really good and kind of proved to these guys that that's not the same team they beat 35-0 a year ago?
I think it was huge, and I was actually thankful for that in some ways, just being honest, because you can say things a certain way, but if you put the film in and the film doesn't match, these guys, they're pretty smart guys, and they know what the film means. And you put the film in, and you're exactly right. They're a completely different team than we played a year ago. And whatever thought that you have about Rutgers previously is erased. And so that's obviously shows us, and like I said, film never lies. And so they are a much improved football team. They played really, really hard. They created 7 takeaways, which is unbelievably impressive to me. And they're a really good team. So bottom line is it's our first road game, and we got to play better this week than we played last week. That's the key.
All right, Jim, then Paul.
Coach, twice now this season, you've or not this season, but over the last couple of seasons, against Michigan State and then, of course, against Penn State, you've been successful in getting another team to score on purpose. Do you think you're ever going to have another team score on you on purpose again now?
It would be highly unlikely, and just because of the nature of how big this has become and how much it's been talked about. But we still have a plan for that. And there's other circumstances where it can happen, a little bit less maybe obvious or deliberate way than that one was. But at the same time, you plan for all those situations. And I'm just proud of our guys for executing what we've been working on. You practice it and you have a signal for it and you plan for it. And sometimes they'll say you could go. I've gone a lot of years of coaching and those things never happen, So it's been unusual that's happened twice now. But at the same time, it's been very effective, in this situation and gave us a chance. So, but I think the likelihood of it happening in the near future is pretty small.
All right, Paul, then Rick Bozich.
Hey, Coach. Rutgers, a team that comes in with 10 transfers, maybe not a team that you know a lot about, can watch a lot of film. But one guy in particular, Noah, their quarterback, a guy that played against you last year before he got hurt. What stands out to you about him? And then how much have you and the coaches talked to the team about what's going on up at Wisconsin and making sure you guys are doing what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, first of all, in regards to their personnel, they've got a lot of quality transfers. They really changed the way their team looks by bringing in new guys. And like you said, it starts at quarterback. And we did play against him last year. The thing that sticks out to me is his moxie. You can just tell. He's a kid that understands the game, really good athlete, can do a lot of things, can run it, can throw it, extends plays well with his legs. Is just tough, gritty guy. So a lot of respect for him as a player. So we know we're going to have to play extremely well to be able to contain him and keep him from being very effective in both the run and the throw game. And then they got several other players as well. So, but then you mentioned Wisconsin. I tell you what, it's absolutely a discussion point for us, and just makes you on high alert for everything that you do, whether it's travel this weekend, the way that we're functioning here in this facility by keeping our masks on, by staying socially distanced when we're away from here, and doing a great job of just being disciplined. And it just shows you how quickly things can change for your program and how quickly they can change for this whole season. So without question, we're very much, aware of what's going on there. Thoughts and prayers with Coach Christ and his situation that he comes out of this totally healthy. But the bottom line is it's a very real thing for all of us.
Yeah. All right, Rick, and then it looks like Kevin Brockway's on.
Okay. Tom, you're 5 days out from what was a win that people around the whole country have been talking about, was celebrated as it should have been and means so much to your program. What have you done specifically in practice this week to get your guys to move past it? And have you seen the signs you need to see that your guys won't be dwelling on last week or letting down?
Well, mature teams, can't function that way. We have, goals for this program, and we want to be in a certain position. And, it was one game, we had a big game, big win, awesome win. Those things are pretty, apparent that they can be super positive for your program. But at the same time, if you don't continue to do things the right way, it all goes away. And that to me is what I talked to our team about the fact that we were ranked a year ago, and that lasted for 6 days, So if you don't continue to execute and stay focused and locked in and keep getting better, and that's the key. We just got to keep getting better, And you look at it even last year. I mean, it wasn't like we it takes a while to get your team, where you want to be playing, really good football in all three phases, and then obviously that calendar got sped up when you're playing only, conference only games on your schedule. And so, but you just try and stay locked in and focused on the task at hand. And that to me is where you rely on your leadership of your team. That's your coaching staff. That's your captains. That's your leaders on your team, and being able to make sure. And we've talked about these things and how we prepare, and the attention to detail and the focus that it takes to be great, and learn how to handle success. And so we all been talking about wanting to have an opportunity to upset a top 10 team, and now it's happened. So now how are we going to respond? And so that is the next challenge for us as part of our growth as a program, as part of our growth as a team. And I like what I've seen so far, but proof's always in how you perform on game day. So that's how the true test will be. If they bought in and listened, and we've done a good job as a staff, we'll play well on Saturday.
All right, Kevin Brockway, and then we'll wrap up with Zach. You're muted, Kevin. All right, Kevin, we'll come back to you. Zach, go ahead.
I got it. Well, no, I got it.
All right, go ahead.
An update on Miles Marshall and David Ellis heading into Saturday.
Yeah, we don't know yet for sure. So we'll announce that before kickoff, and so you guys will all find out then.
All right, Zach, last one.
Sorry, there we go. Sorry to get off mute sometimes. I want to ask about Jamar Johnson, and I guess maybe more. We've asked you about him as a player. Obviously, he's had some good performances between maybe the latter part of last season and then obviously last weekend. But going back to when he was a recruit, how did that relationship kind of start with him? I know that obviously that was a class that I think you guys brought in a number of Florida players, but for him specifically, how did that relationship start? And as much as you remember it, just kind of how did it evolve to the point where, he wound up coming to Indiana?
Well, first of all, it really started due to just my connections in that part of the state. And the person in particular that I know there well from there, we worked together here at University of South Florida, and was from that area and knew the coach there, and then I knew the coach there as well. And just, be able to say, hey, we got this guy that we think has got a chance to be really special, and maybe, a little bit under the radar in some ways and different things with recruiting. Definitely had, other, Power 5 offers, but not a massive list of them. So he definitely was one. He played a lot of positions and both sides of the football, and just a guy that we really did a lot of research on and just started to get to know him as a person and just, and once again, I think it's about relationships, and you get a chance to, there's a lot of good players down there in Florida, and there's a lot of players like Jamar that may not be highly recruited across the whole nation, but they're really good players. We have several on our team that would fall in that category, and so he's another one of those. But they gotta, they all have potential like a lot of young men do, but what are you going to do with that when you get here? And he's a guy that really benefited from the structure and discipline of our program, and just the whole accountability, toughness, and love, core values that we have, and the way that we operate. And it's been good for him. It's allowed him to really flourish here, and to be able to, his athleticism is obvious, and his, to me, it's more about the ball savviness that he has is what makes him special. He just has a knack for that, and he can read and understands football and reads the quarterback well. Played, like I said, both positions, receiver, even played some quarterback, DB, corner, safety, returner, all those things in high school. So just, very versatile guy, and has really good ball skills, has great tracking ability of the football. Some guys are better at that than others, and he's one of those that's pretty gifted in that. So he brought all those physical things with him, but he's just he's really matured as a young man, and that's what I'm most proud about. And still working through all those things as you go and you grow and develop as a person. But just really appreciate his coach believing in us and his family believing in us, and got him up here on a visit, and got a chance to show him. And I think people that knew me and trusted me and believed that he would be in a special place if he came here were big variables in that. And, they just know that we're going to not just help them be successful on the field. If they come to Indiana, they're going to have a chance to become the men and the man that they were created to be. And that to me is what his coaches wanted and his family wanted, to be able to help him, grow in the things that they care about a lot, which is, his character and his leadership and who he is, and coming here and getting a great education. So I just really appreciate those individuals believing in us and trusting us. And Jamar is just another example of that relationships we have in the state of Florida and how those guys are really helping us do great things here in Indiana.